guys, it's Miss Karen here, and we're going to do a painting of a parrot. Parrots are a wonderful animal to paint because they're so full of color. It is so neat to paint. So I'm going to zoom out just a touch so you can get my canvas in here, and we're going to get started. First thing we want to do is put our canvas up and down. That's called vertical. Up and down. This would be horizontal. We don't want horizontal, we want vertical. Now we want to get out our pencil. First thing, I want you to put your finger in the middle of the bottom. And now I want you to come over a little bit more and put a line. Now I want you to put your finger in the middle of the side and put a line. Now, can you put your finger in the middle of your canvas? Put a line. Why did I have you put all those lines? Well, I did that because we need to connect the three. You've done connect the dots, right? Where you connect number 1 to number 2 to number 3, and by the time you're done, you have a picture. Well, this is very similar, but these aren't going to be numbered. We just want to connect them. So we're going to do a curved line all the way around, and it's going to touch those lines. If yours looks something like this, you've done good. Now we want to go to the same dot that you had done before, and we're going to bump it out and back almost to the bottom, but not quite. Okay, and then the last thing we want to do is find about the halfway and do a big circle. Now you want to do this really soft because you can make a hole in your canvas, and we don't want to do that. Okay, now let's draw the beak. Let's draw a curve. Nice and big, that goes from one end here to down here. And now we're going to go swoop down. And we're going to go swoop up. It's kind of like a triangle has gone kind of wonky on us. Now we want to erase what's in here, because that's behind our beak. You can't see things that are behind our beak. It's not see-through. Now we have the bottom of the beak, the top of the beak. Now, can you go, see these two lines? Can you find the middle? It's going to be somewhere like that. Let's put a mark. Do you see where this and this meet right here? Let's put a mark. Now we're going to connect them with a bump. But this bump needs to be big. Nice and big. And right in the middle, what do you think goes there? An eye. A circle with the circle in it. Almost like a donut. So you just drew a parrot looking over his wing, and a little bit of his chest is showing. That's it. Boom. Pretty awesome. Now, if you choose to do so, you can get a Sharpie and outline your picture. I'm not going to do it. I don't think it's necessary, but if you want to, you can. Now we're going to use acrylic paints, and I have mine squeezed out onto a plate, but you don't have to do that. If yours comes in a container, just use them straight from the container. You want to have a bucket with water. You want to have a napkin or a rag, your plate, and make sure that you're wearing something that can be messed up if you accidentally get it paint on it, because this paint doesn't come out. Alright, so first thing we want to do, since my brush is in my water, I want to dry it off. I'm going to gently drag it up my bucket, and I'm going to gently drag it on my rag. Nice and gentle. Okay? First thing we want to do is fill in our background. Our background can be any color you want. I don't recommend red. Why? Because we're painting a parrot. And this parrot that we're going to paint is going to be red. Now, you don't have to have a red parrot. You could do a blue parrot or a green parrot. That's up to you. But Miss Karen is going to paint a red parrot. And it is easy if you do similar to what I do, so you can follow along. But it's up to you. So I think what I would like to do is use blue around the outside. Now you can use any color you want. You're going to dip your brush in your paint and you're going to fill it in. You want to take your time. Spread out your clumps and bumps. Spread it out, spread it out. Take your time. This is not a race. Your work is not going to be good if you rush through it. And also take care of your brush. Little brush strokes is all you need to do. Don't do big chunky ones like that. You're not filling anything in. It's all white and scattered looking. Little brush strokes. Fill in all of your white space. Fill in the sides. Fill in the whole thing. Neatly, smoothly. Fill it in. Don't go over your lines. You drew them for a reason. So I'm not going to paint this blue inside my bird. Now Miss Karen's not going to paint her sides right now just because I want to be able to get through the blue part quickly so we can move on to our bird. But I do want you to, okay? So what I'm going to do is Miss Karen's going to stop the video. So Mom or Dad needs to stop the video as well. I'm going to finish painting the blue all the way around, and then we're going to get started on our bird. All right, so let's go ahead and pause in 3, 2, 1. Okay, my friends, have you done your entire background? Awesome. Now we want to clean our brush really softly. Don't splash your water. Just stir it up, clean your brush, drag it up against the top of your bucket, dry it off softly. Okay. Now, this part is a little bit hard. We're going to start with white on our paintbrush. And we want to fill in this whole area here, the whole thing. Try and stay in the eye area. But paint the whole thing white, okay? All the way around, all the way. Why are we painting white canvas white? Because even though it's white, it's not a clean white. It's kind of dingy. So now here's where the hard part is. I want you to take just the very tip of your paintbrush and dip it in yellow, just a little bit. And I want you to put it at just this corner, and I want you to drag it a few times, and it'll kind of fade away in my white. Now, if that's too hard for you, you don't have to do it, but it does look kind of cool. So if you can try, I would try. And once you've done that, we're going to let that part dry. So go ahead and clean your brush, dry it, and we're going to start with these areas right up here, which are the feathers. Start with just red and fill it in. Little brush strokes, because these are feathers. They're little. Okay? Feathers. Little lines. Now they can kind of go in there a little bit and out a little bit. See, I have some of them kind of flopping out a little bit, kind of a mohawk. Fill it in. I think I'm going to grab a little bit of orange. Ooh, look, I didn't clean my brush, and you see what it did? Let's do it again. Dirty brush. Ooh, It makes a beautiful blend. Oh, look, I grabbed a little bit of blue on my brush from my outside. That's okay. Some more red. Just keep filling it with color. I really like that blue from my outside falling into it. That's an accident, and it looks pretty. So I'm not going to fix it. Sometimes there are these things called happy accidents, and they make your work even better. So keep filling it in, little brush strokes. Little brush strokes. And almost done. Okay. So now we want to do this part, which is the chest of our bird. I'm going to take red and yellow. Look at that. I put both on my brush at the same time. Oh, I might get in trouble. Nope, I'm not. Fill it in. Look at that. It's gorgeous, and you didn't even have to do anything but put two paint colors on your brush. Look at that. That is a pretty color that you made. All right, let's do it again. But this time, we're going to turn our canvas just a little because you don't want to put your hand in that. We're going to be painting in this direction. So let's start with red and orange on your brush at the same time. And start filling this in with your little feather marks. But first, I'm just trying to make a nice smooth line. Fill it in. Fill it in. Little brush strokes. Orange and red. Orange and red. Okay. Now, I'm not going to go into my beak. Be very, very careful with that. Don't want my beak colored anything but yellow and shaded. Alright, now I'm going to bring some on this side too. I'm going to paint it in. Okay, so now I'm not going to clean my brush. I'm just going to grab some yellow. Little brush strokes, little brush strokes, little. Miss Karen is going fast just because I want to show you the blends, but you need to go nice and slow. Yellow on my brush. Yellow on my brush. I'm just picking up yellow every time I dip. I just have a dirty brush from all that red, and it just keeps coming out on my yellow. And it's beautiful. It's just like feathers. It's real feathers. Now, is it okay if yours doesn't look like mine? Absolutely. Are you me? Am I you? No, I am my own artist. And I am a good artist. You know what? So are you. And your art might look completely different than mine. But it doesn't mean it's wrong. It just means it's your art. So don't feel bad if your parrot doesn't look just like my parrot. And remember, it does take practice. It takes lots and lots of practice to get really good at art. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and wash off my brush, dry off my brush, dip it in my yellow, and I want to paint my beak. Stay in your lines. This is very important. Stay in those lines. Your beak is not sticking out or anything. It's just a pointed triangle. Okay. Now I'm going to touch some black. Now I didn't clean my brush because black is going to cover whatever I paint. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to fill this in with my black brush. But look, I'm doing itty bitty brush strokes because I don't want to mess up. Fill it in Softly, slowly. Now my yellow's starting to come out and I like it. But I need more black on my brush. And come in here and finish filling it in. Look at that, I took my time. Pretty cool. Now, with that dirty brush, can you drag it up into the beak? Look at that. Gorgeous. Now touch your black again. Barely any on your tip. Barely any. Come in here. Outline your eye. Don't bend your bristles. Just outline your eye. Go back in with your black. Fill in your circle. Softly, slowly. Clean off your brush. Dry off your brush. Touch your white. Barely any on there. Look at that. Barely any. Touch your eye. Now, even if that white's on there, you can still touch your red. Barely any on your brush. I didn't scoop. And I want to do little smiles all over. Look, I can turn it to where it looks like smiles. All over your canvas around the eye. Little smiles. Little smiles. Ah, it's gorgeous. Alright, so lastly I'm going to take my brush. I'm going to come to the bottom and I'm going to write my name.